And staying with the story of the day, that's the President's presentation of the 2019 proposed budget. Our business correspondent now joins us to discuss the breakdown. Thank you very much for joining us, Irene.
Thank you, David.
Now, let's look at the budget proposal being presented. We have 8.83 trillion naira, and then we also look at the fact that we have a recurrent expenditure of about 4.04 trillion naira. Give us a breakdown of this and the implication.
Okay, so thank you, David. When you take a look at the 2019 budget, when compared to the 2018 budget, you'd realize that it's fairly higher than what it was for 2018 budget. 2019 budget, like you rightly said, is 8.83 trillion naira. 2018 budget that was proposed by the executive arm of the National Assembly was 8.6 trillion naira. Now, taking a closer look at the recurrent expenditure, you'd realize that the Ministry of Interior got the larger part of it at 569.07 billion naira, larger than what the 2018 budget had. If you take a look at what has been happening in the country for, let's not go too far, for the last 1 year, you'd realize that the country has been bedeviled by a lot of internal security challenges for which it's only wise for the government to pour in so much on that. Not too long, just yesterday, we saw an air marshal being killed in cold blood, and then Nigerians are left with the question of how secure am I? So I would say that the government has done well by pouring in so much on, trying to control and protect the citizens.
Let's also look at education, health as well.
All right, in terms of education, it's not for me personally, it's not enough to pour in. What we have for education is 462 billion naira. It's not just enough to have that for education, but we need to see it trickle down to the poor, those at the lower pyramid of the economy, those that are not able to, take care of themselves, send their children to very good schools. So I would suggest that this fund gets to those at the lower pyramid of the economy.
And then now, looking at other aspects of the budget, we have debt financing going for pegged at 2.14 trillion naira, and this is about a quarter of the
It's actually a lot for us to have debt financing of 2.14 trillion naira. You'd realize that for us, right, it's not money that is coming into our pockets as a government, it's money that is going out. So I would suggest that we start to maximize our local resources such that we're able to produce more, export more, generate more internal revenue for ourselves, such that we are not depending on debt anymore, but we're able to generate revenue for ourselves to, implement a lot of these projects that we have, like infrastructure, and other projects that are ongoing.
Definitely utilizing our resources, we have to add value. But let's now also talk about the budget implementation, because at the end of the day, that's really the crux of the matter, because if we have this proposal being presented, everything boils down to how well it is implemented.
Exactly.
Considering at a time when oil and non-oil sectors are pretty much volatile across the globe, as well as other key segments, how important is it that we have to get it right and just on time this time around, considering we have the 2019 elections as well?
I mean, while we're trying not to go into a situation of recession, liquidity is also very important. We need to have money to, perform our daily transactions. So it's very important that, unlike the delay that we experienced in the 2018 budget implementation, we need to ensure that this 2019 budget is implemented very fast.
Thank you very much for your time, Irene Uban.
It's
been a pleasure speaking with you. Now, there was a mild drama at the National Assembly as opposition lawmakers booed President Buhari over claims of performance. The lawmakers had disagreed with President Buhari over initiatives by his administration aimed at reducing poverty, improving security and fighting corruption. Some lawmakers belonging to the All Progressives Congress criticized the act, saying opposition lawmakers were being insincere to Nigerians.
The economy has recovered from recession. The economy has recovered from recession. We had 6 quarters of growth since then. We have done more work with less resources in agriculture, infrastructure, and social investments. We have built better understanding between the federal government and the state on non-partisan fault lines, in particular, intervening several times to support states to meet their obligations, including the payment of salaries and pensions. Sustained development is difficult, if not impossible, in an atmosphere of insecurity and poor governance. We have therefore made strenuous and successful efforts to overcome the insurgency in the Northeast and to resolve intercommunal misunderstandings elsewhere. May I appeal to the honorable members that the world is watching us, and we are supposed to be above this.